Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. Once you start looking at this whole thing called energy and believing and trusting, it's a game changer in your life. And it's my belief that we all got things going on. We're stuck in many different areas. Sometimes we can't figure it out. And it can be as simple as having a Reiki session, energy clearing Reiki session to move your life forward. We're going to talk about that today and so much more. She offers so much in terms of spirituality, harnessing the power of energy, right down to mediumship readings, paranormal investigations, and of course, Reiki and chakra clearing and alignment. And we're going to look at a little bit of what a Reiki session actually looks like. Ashlie Bradley is on the program with us. How you doing today?
I'm well, thank you. How are you today, Steve?
Doing very well. And the more we get together, the more I learn that you run deep with this stuff. You're not just,
I do.
and I'm not minimizing anything. You're not just a Reiki practitioner. If you were, that's great. There's many, that's great. But you have a deeper understanding and experience in terms of what happens with energy, especially in a Reiki session. And as we talked about last time, you're basically the conduit. You're putting positive energy into somebody by what you've learned, attunement, I think they call it, and clearing somebody up, moving energy that is stuck within their body. Do you feel that most of us have stuck energy and we don't even know it?
Oh, absolutely. And yes, I am 110% a conduit. That's what I do. And that's what I try to instill with people when they come to me. When they come in, I'm completely open energy wise. And so when that happens, I can also, when I'm open with Reiki, I also can connect with spirits. So when people come in, a lot of times, sometimes they're a little distressed or depressed or things are going on. And so I can sit down with them and I can give like a 15-minute report on life and, ask them how they heard about me and why they're here. And then direct them to my table, have them take their shoes off and just get comfortable, lay down face up. If they want blankets, I have them. And I put the crystals on top of them. And then I do, I start at the head. And then I get a feeling for all their 7 energy sources down their body. And then I take a pendulum over each chakra. So it runs from clockwise to counterclockwise to clockwise to counterclockwise and so on. And so so what I do is I try, normally it's larger, not all the time, but normally more people are open at the top of their head and it gets more narrow as their chakras go down. So my goal is when I feel that is I try to, or it could be, have whatever their imbalance is, I try to, I open the chakra and I raise it to the highest vibration, all of them. And then I swoop it kind of down in a downward motion. So they are all the same speed. So when that happens, then I do a Reiki session. I always open with the chakra alignment every single time because I feel if someone is going to come to me and have a Reiki session, then I need to have a clean slate. And that I just feel like it would be a disservice just to lay them on my table and start doing, Reiki. I need to get into what's going on. And I need to, kind of clean the playing field.
Is a chakra alignment the same thing or similar to a chakra balancing? I've heard that term before.
It is, yes, but I just go with alignment, so it's just different wording, but it is balancing each chakra or aligning.
It reminds me of a chiropractor. Why do you go to a chiropractor? You're out of alignment. He adjusts you, gets you into alignment, and now you're where you need to be. So now, like you said, you have a clean slate. You got something that's fresh to work with in terms of moving energy.
And I've had some really interesting conversations with some chiropractors about that, about the same situation. So, yeah, because they can feel energy too. I mean, I don't know about all of them, but the ones that I have spoken with have felt energy move when they feel the cracks, like they can feel the release.
Oh, wow. Wow. You said something before that when you're doing a session with someone that you can get mediumship messages from the other side potentially?
It is, yeah, that's very true. So a lot of, I let people know, when people come in and we sit down and we have our conversation, I kind of go along and I tell them, hey, look, I don't know if you know this, but I am a medium. I a lot of times when I'm open with Reiki, I'm 110% open to all things energy. So when I can very easily connect with the spirit. So a lot of times people do come, their spirits or loved ones know that they can connect with me, so they will make themselves known, and they will, and I allow them, hey, look, some of them get too eager and I make them, hey, look, just back up, you can give me messages. Some of them I allow to assist in the healing. It just depends, on the situation, because each one is different. But everybody, we all come with baggage. So it just the baggage that we choose to bring with us, or wants to come along with us. Not all of us can see, but some can.
Well, okay. I'm glad you said that. We need to realize that we all have baggage. We all
Hmm.
have things that we have dealt with. And that's
Hmm.
why for lack of a better description, our energy is all mucked up. A lot
Yeah.
going on.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Exactly.
What has come through when you've done sessions with some of your clients? It's all confidential, but I'd be kind of curious what kind of messages you might have gotten. Not that it happens all the time.
Well, okay, so a lot of times, like, when I'm working with someone, and they're on my table, and I'm fully open, I can feel, like past injuries, like past traumas, past incidences, childhood issues, things like that. A lot of times when I'm feeling those things, the person gets ultra emotional. And so their loved ones want to just offer support. So they will show up and they will give me messages like, let them know that, and they'll go back to like a memory. Like, for example, let them know, like, Christmas, the last Christmas that we were all together and we were opening the gifts. Let them know that I love that like, I don't know, like the apron that you gave me. That was from someone, and I didn't know who this person was, and is apparently their grandmother who raised them, and that was the last gift that they gave her, and it was just pretty emotional.
Wow. That being said,
Hmm.
when somebody passes, is their energy always around us?
I mean, yes, I feel like they can go wherever kind of they want to go. But yeah, I feel like definitely they're around us. I can call them in. So I've challenged myself a lot here, especially during this last year. So I did like a few vendor shows. And so one of them, I was at Lover's Leap Winery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, and I went in as like a full mediumship readings, and I didn't have anything else with me. I just was said, "Hey, just tell me the name of your loved one, and I'll call them through vibration." And so I did. I was able to connect with. I didn't. Normally, I say, "Bring me an article, bring me a picture, or something," so I can kind of hold that and then kind of, but I just kind of connected with their name, and I pulled their name through vibration that time, and it's been awesome. So I've really challenged myself, um, but it's been very rewarding.
And it's not always guaranteed. It's all about energy. Energy's
Mhm.
moving all the time. It's changing all the time.
And then I tell people all the time, especially when it comes to mediumship readings, look, I'm going to call, your brother Jim, okay? Doesn't mean that he's going to come through. Your sister Sally may want to talk to me instead of him. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it may be, and then he might come in later. It doesn't, whoever, or he might just come in and just stand there and stare at me because he's like, I'm not down with this hoopla lady. You know what I mean? Not all of them want to talk to me, but they might show up and just kind of say two words and be gone. And, that's
I,
about it.
I always say this. You have full permission if you want to pick up a vibe on me. If anything comes through, I have no secrets. Whatever comes around, whatever comes around.
Okay.
This is this is a part of what you do, but
Mhm.
you're also, I don't know if I have this term correct. Tell me, paranormal investigator, or you look into the energy of paranormal situations?
I do. So I do both. Um, I do kind of like a lot of paranormal crisis work that a lot of people don't want to deal with. That is a little bit too
Deep,
uh,
dark.
Deep dark, yes, very much so. I come in as a full light being. I was born with the light within. So this has been something that I've been dealing with my whole life. So I've been able to go into some pretty dark situations and help families that didn't think that they were going to be able to get help. I don't film and I don't really take video or photos or anything like that unless they really want me to, because a lot of the people are pretty much in crisis mode when I get there to help them. I take what I do pretty serious. I don't, I don't want to make my whole thing is to make people feel comfortable with me. So I don't want anyone to feel like they can't trust me or, what I do. So a lot of times when I go, I'm a tiny person, I'm 5'2", and I show up and I'm like, they don't know who I am or we've never met. And I just kind of go in and walk the property. When it is a low vibrational entity, I don't really talk to them. I don't deal with them. I just cross them over. I blast them out. I don't, some people want me to figure out why they're there. When I'm dealing with something with a low vibration, I don't want to talk to them, but I will clear them out.
Every time or many times when we hear the word paranormal, it's
Mm-hmm.
connected with something negative, but it often isn't. Is that correct?
Very correct. Yeah. I mean, I've done some really cool investigations, and I've dealt with paranormal my whole life. Um, so it's like I've seen them in different forms. Some I see, like Casper. Some I see that you can see through, like dots, like white dots, and some I see just like you or I. That's solid. So it's some I smell, some I just hear. So it's not like um
Hmm.
one definite form that I see.
I'll share with you this morning, and it was just this morning. I'm not even kidding. I saged my place.
Hmm.
I was just feeling that been a long time.
Hmm.
And I figured, I don't know what it was, just something was guiding me saying, it's time to clear it up. And
Hmm.
excuse me, I sometimes use a sage stick and I burn it. And then
Hmm.
I found I started using sage spray, but it's legit sage spray. It's organic,
Hmm.
it's a real deal.
Hmm.
It's just easier to spray it around. It smells just like the sage stick, except it's not burning. Um, am I doing the right thing in using a spray, or is it really about the intention you put into it and getting a little more granular when you want to sage and get rid of negative energy? Is there a right way? Like, is it clockwise, counterclockwise? What can you tell us there?
I normally when I go in, I go from like the right to the left of like of a home. Or I feel guided wherever I feel most guided.
Ah,
So when I walk into a home, so that's it. So there's no real right or wrong. When I walk into a
hmm,
home and and anybody is with me, I will put a Reiki bubble over all of us to keep us all safe. Not everybody I bring with me is Reiki certified. If they were, it doesn't matter. I would still put them all. We would all be in the same bubble, because I don't want to bring that home, and I'm sure they don't want to bring that home with them either. So
sure.
that will keep us safe. Um, when I'm clearing a property, I clear it with Reiki. So I put a Reiki seal on that property. Um, it's been very effective, and it's been effective for my clients. I haven't had too much, ill feedback with that, which if I do, I will definitely go back and re-clear. It's no problem for me. Um, so yeah, it's just been pretty wild.
Wow. Um, should you have a door or window open when you're saging?
I do. I do. I well, this is how I do it. Okay. I keep all doors and windows closed, and then I open one door as I'm leaving, and I round everything up. I physically say all spirits and entities that are low vibrational are not allowed in my home. I command you to leave. And then I literally act like I'm wrapping my arms around things, and I throw them out my front door. So you can physically feel the vacuum seal, as
Hmm.
it's pretty crazy.
And just what you're describing, I've seen Reiki practitioners, and I don't know how you do it, but
Hmm.
will actually, while they're working with somebody, I'm just going to try and demonstrate this, but they'll just be pulling out of the person, just like
Yes.
almost like pulling. You can't see it, but negative energy out of them, and it sounds
Yes.
like you're doing that.
Definitely. So, and I do that out of homes or people or animals or any land, it doesn't matter. So like if I have somebody on my table and I feel a negative entity or presence or just discrepancy in their body,
Hmm.
not everybody can, want to know, what's going on. I will put like a Reiki drain on them, and then so it's like a drain, and then I put like two cords or whatever in it. I direct it at their feet, and then I open their feet energetically, and then I pull, like, so the pulling method. So I pull it out, and it looks to me like black sludge. They can't see that, but sometimes they can smell it. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah. So their feet move like the whole time. And I just tell them, hey, look, your feet are going to move, your legs may move, your body might twitch a little bit, but you're going to be okay. If I notice that somebody is going through something like that, I know that they've been through some pretty significant trauma. I'm not going to leave them on my table very long. I'm not going to do that to them. I'm going to do this. I'm going to, chakra align them, give them a Reiki session. Then I'm going to sit down and we're going to talk again. I'm going to do a cord cutting on them. And that is where they have like energetic strings that are connected to other people, places, or things. A
Mm.
lot of times, traumatic events, I can take, like, I'll show you my selenite wand, and I go over them and I just energetically remove all the cords. And so, that's another
Mm.
thing that I do.
So,
Yes.
so here's mine. Can we do that to ourselves to
Yes, we
remove
can do it. Hmm.
cords that don't support us? Um, and I understand there's videos out there on YouTube, whatever, but how should you, let's say you've got an individual and you just want to cut the cord. It's time to move on. The negative energy that they've created, that you, whatever it might be, what should you
Hmm.
be doing with a stick of selenite?
Sure, I'll show you. So what I do is I start with an X over the head, and then I do a series of X's all the way down the body. Then I step over it with their feet, cut an X underneath their feet. Then I go over, around the back side of the body, and then I do a circle all the way around them. So and I do it in, like, it takes about 10 to 15 minutes until I feel. Sometimes you hear snaps, honestly. Sometimes you see like little spurts of light, everything is different. So there's no session is the same. I'm picking up on something for you. I'm picking up on a grandmotherly figure. She's talking about the garden. She's talking about being out in the garden. She approves of your sage spray. I don't know what this has to do, but she wants you to connect with plant medicine more. Um, and she said that that will make full circle for you, whatever that means. If this is for you, not me.
Um, wow. So I just started getting into that. Hang on, I'm going to reach for something. Hold on. I just started taking turmeric. I just started a herbal person with mushrooms and other things in this. I was kind of dabbling in it, but in the last week and a half or so, I've started digging super deep into it. Before I say any more, this person, grandmother
Mhm.
figure, anything else? Anything else?
She wants you to know that everything is going to be okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And we'll leave it at that.
Would it be grandmother or would it be mother?
Both. It's both.
The grandmother thing, she's never come through. She passed when I was 14.
Hmm.
Um, she was loved to be out in the garden, like especially holly and lilac was her thing.
Wow. Okay. Well, yeah, she wants you to connect with the plant medicine. Like that is, and so I guess with you connecting with the herbalist that you were connecting with, keep doing that, and she wants you to really dabble in and do your own. So she's talking about like two-part. She wants you to like make like really easy like cough medicines that will benefit you. Honey and like onion and like lemon balm would be good for your stomach.
Mm. Which, when I had some stomach issues a little over a year ago, that's what I did.
Okay.
And full disclosure, I had an ulcer back in the day. I thought it was back. It was just all stress. It wasn't. I got scoped again. Everything, it was just little issues here and there, not the ulcer. But
Mhm.
before I had it diagnosed, I almost drove myself to the hospital from it. And I got herbals and fixed it in 2 days.
Okay. That's wild. So I feel like your mother's talking, and she said that she was quiet, like she was very quiet about certain issues because she didn't want anybody to worry. So she wants you to take better care of yourself.
Yep, I got that.
Mhm.
um, without taking a lot of time, she sent
Mhm.
me a sign. I'll make this really short. She sends me signs that are very specific. She sent me
Mhm.
a sign over the summer. Um, and when I started figuring it all out, and I don't even need to go into the backstory of why I figured it out, it
Mhm.
was a sign to go see a cardiologist.
Okay.
So I did.
Mhm.
I never went. Everything was fine. Little tweaks here and there, all good, fantastic, no worries. But the reason I'm even bringing this up to your point
Mhm.
is when I walked into the cardiologist, the woman there at the window, the intake person, I look at her shirt, and on her shirt is my mom's name.
Oh, wow, that is amazing.
That's
See?
just a piece of it, but I could have led you into what prompted me to go to the cardiologist. Bottom line is, I asked my mom for a sign before any of this, and I got a new modem. Saved $100. Thanks, mom. I flipped it over. Password is on it. There's 4 digits dash her name dash 2 digits. And when I
Wow.
started figuring out what the digits meant, not to get into detail here, it led me to the cardiologist. And then there's the woman with a shirt on with her name. You can't make that
Wow,
up. Yeah.
no.
So I get what you're saying. I get what you're
Mhm.
saying. Yeah. She's knocking on my door saying, "Take care of yourself." Yeah.
Mhm.
She always just say these two things. Did you eat? And do you need money? No, mom, I'm good. Everything's good.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, but the plant medicine, yeah, for sure. Like I'm digging. I was dabbling in it and it was supporting me, but now recently in literally the last week,
Yeah, you
jumping.
really need to hone in on that. It will really be beneficial. It could be like a total new hobby for you, honestly. Just really hone in on it.
Yeah, and it's more of figuring it all out because there's a lot of variables there, and I'm not a master herbalist, don't want to be, but
Mhm.
even the turmeric, how bad could it be for you, within moderation, and
Yeah.
that's just a starting point. Wow. All
Mhm.
right, so that's how that works, huh, Ashley?
Yes, sir.
Wow. How does somebody, and thank you for that,
You're
and that validation. How does somebody connect with you? You offer so much. Um,
welcome.
right down to, as I experienced the medium thing. How do we find
Mhm.
you?
You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I am on TikTok, but I don't really do much on TikTok yet. I have a website. They can email me. So, there's multiple ways to get a hold of me.
Website is the Reiki Cottage KY.com. Got that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Website. Mhm.
And the KY stands for Kentucky, where the cottage is located. But you don't have to be in the cottage, as you demonstrated here. You could be anywhere virtually and and get answers and get healed at the same time. Thank you so much for being here today. Really cool. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.